If you just finished season 1 of MooseVan, you saw that we completed the van. It was pretty much done and ready for travel, and we did travel in it multiple times. So here we are with season 2, and we are rebuilding the MooseVan. You might be wondering, what is that all about? And these are questions we've asked ourselves many times. Why are you rebuilding it? What's wrong with the van? What's wrong with you? So the van we built in season 1 worked. It took us to places we wanted to go. All the systems worked exactly as designed, and we were quite happy with it for the most part. So seriously, why are we rebuilding? Once we started to use the van on a regular basis, really living in the space, every trip we took taught us something new or different about ourselves and the way we travel, and what our needs really are, what our priorities are, what's important to us, what's not so important to us. All of that started to come together throughout the use of the van that we built in season 1. So every trip taught us something. Some ideas worked, some ideas didn't work. So it's not necessarily a new build, it's a rebuild based on lessons learned from season 1. One van, many builds. When we started season 1, our goal wasn't to build the perfect camper van. Our goal was much simpler. Build something affordable, build it quickly, get out there, experience it, see if we actually enjoyed traveling this way. Van life is not for everyone. We didn't know if we were cut out for it. We didn't know if the small space was going to work for 2 adults and 2 dogs, but it turns out it worked really well for us and we loved it. Actually using the van teaches you so much more than you would learn through a YouTube channel or through discussions with others in terms of whether or not you would like it, whether or not the space or floor plan works for you, what's important, what your priorities are. You know, all of those things are great to think about, and you can document that and revise it all you want. But until you live it, you don't really know. Every meal, every rainy day, every camp spot, every night you go to bed, every time you need to grab something from storage, you notice little things. And eventually, those little things become a long list of ideas. From the van that we built in season 1, there was literally no path from there to a 4-season, fully insulated camper van. Because we put the van rug down, the floor wasn't insulated, and everything that we built sat on top of that floor. There was no way to insulate the floor unless we removed everything from the van. So that's what we did. And when everything was out of the van, clean slate, we had the option of insulating the floor and then putting everything back in the way it was. But if you're starting with a clean slate and you have a lot of ideas, well, by that point, I wasn't improving the build anymore. I was redesigning it from the ground, or more accurately, the floor, up. Rather than building around yesterday's decisions, it actually made more sense to build around lessons learned. Not because the first build failed, but actually because it succeeded. It answered the question we set out to answer. Can 2 adults and 2 dogs travel in a van cross-country successfully and happily? And now that we're all in on a 4-season camper van, we're ready to invest the time and the money it takes to get us there. To build the van that's right for us based on experience. One thing I've learned throughout this process is that DIY is not necessarily a straight line, at least in terms of building a van and in terms of how it worked out for us. Some ideas evolve, some disappear completely. What you start doing in the morning is not necessarily where you end up in the afternoon or evening. Some things are absolute garbage and you have to rip it out and start again. And some things end up turning out so nicely that you think, I could not have just done that. How did that work? turned out much better than I could have even imagined. And some things were so bad we removed and didn't even try again. It's just how it goes. Throughout this season, you'll see walls move, storage change form, cabinets change, entire systems get built, rebuilt, and built again. And because of all of those builds and rebuilds and build again until we get it right, that's quite honestly where I came up with the one van mini builds. I believe between season 1 and season 2, I have 4 to 5 vans worth of experience in terms of a build. Because a DIY van build isn't about getting everything perfect, at least not on the first try, and sometimes not ever. It's about learning, improving, continuously refining your ideas until they fit your van and the way you travel. One of the biggest misconceptions about DIY van building is that you have to do everything yourself. I don't believe that's true. Some of the best ideas in this van came from viewers like you who shared their knowledge. We borrowed inspiration. We adapted it. Sometimes we combined multiple ideas into one completely new thing based on things others did. Nicole and Eden's Concrete Oasis inspired our floor plan for season 2. 5 Pound Pete influenced our walls, ceiling, solar, and shower. Tommy and Angie of Sweet Dreams Van showed us how to build partition walls and cut cabinetry panels using their CNC machine. And honestly, countless other ideas and conversations that I've had with them that helped shape this van throughout season 2. Jeff at Thrive Vans builds with extruded aluminum, and watching his videos showed us how to design and install all of our upper and lower cabinets. And the list just goes on. I've watched so many videos from folks like you who are showing what they did and talking about why they did it this way versus that way. That community effort has been one of the most valuable things for us in the planning and the building. This van would honestly not be possible if it weren't for all of those videos that you guys made. DIY doesn't mean doing 100% of the work yourself. It means taking ownership of the final result. Sometimes that means building something yourself, and sometimes that means asking for help. Sometimes it means outsourcing pieces and parts to someone who has the expertise or the tools or the time to do those pieces and parts. There isn't one correct way to build a camper van. One of the things I enjoy most about this community is seeing how different people solve for the same problem differently. Facing the same circumstances, many builders would make choices different from the ones I made, and that's not only okay, but that's expected. Your goal isn't to build my van, it's to build your van. If you like my ideas, I hope they inspire you. Modify it, make it your own. Make videos, share them with me and others in the community. That's truly the best part of building your own camper van. You get to do it your way. I get to do mine my way. And neither one of us are wrong. Every episode this season starts out with the same types of questions. Is this the right solution for the way we travel? What does this solve? What do I need to do first before I do that? How do all of these things fit together and work together? Why am I doing this? All in the pursuit of designing the systems and the space that work for us and lead to us being happy campers. And it's based on real-world experience of us actually using the van all through season 1 in every aspect of the build, whether we had a bed or water or electrical. We used the van, we camped in it. All through season 2 is the same. We will camp in and use this van in every stage of the build, all along thinking to ourselves, does this work? What could make it better? What are our priorities? What's really important to us? What's not important to us? All of those things informed decisions throughout the season of season 2, much the same as it did in season 1. We're testing the systems and the space throughout the entire build. This isn't a highlight reel. It's not a time-lapse build. It's not a collection of perfect decisions. You'll see the planning, the research, the inspiration, the trade-offs, the mistakes, the redesigns, the problem solving, and the lessons along the way. Because I believe understanding why something was built or changed can be more valuable than how it was built. This season isn't about building the perfect camper van. It's about building the van that's right for us. One decision at a time, one improvement at a time, one lesson at a time. One van, many builds. I'm glad you're here. Let's get started.